little bit different in background as compared to most other speakers in this panel discussion. I am basically from engineering background and not from basic science background. Although we call it engineering science, but I mean, it's basically a different stream through which I have grown up. So in engineering, the biggest challenge is to retain people despite attractions of very good jobs, to retain people in research despite attractions in very good jobs. I can remember that, I mean, that was in the year 1997. I completed my graduation and I was going to the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore by train for my master's studies. And in the train, I met some people, in train people used to talk to each other because it's a long journey from, say, Howrah to Madras and then from Madras to Bangalore. So I was discussing with some people and some elderly person asked me that, where are you going? I said that I am going to Bangalore for my master's studies. He said, where? I said, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He said, I have not heard about it. What does it do? So I said that there are, I mean, it's an institute where people do some advanced studies and research in science. He said that, what is your background? I said that by training I am a mechanical engineer. He said, you have not got a job? I was a bit nervous. He said, oh, maybe you have not got a job in West Bengal. You know, the situation in industrial situation in West Bengal is very bad. So you have not got a job in West Bengal, but you have not got a job anywhere in the country that you are going for master studies after doing engineering. So I thought that it is very difficult to convince this person because this mindset or mental block that anybody doing engineering or medicine should directly get into profession, that is inbuilt with our societal system. It is very difficult to eliminate this. And even like when we grew up as engineering students, we heard about one thing. I mean, it doesn't match with what science students talk about. They say that if after your BTech you don't get a job, you go for MTech. If after MTech you don't get a job, you go for PhD. If after PhD you don't get a job, become a faculty member. So that is the entire perspective of the society which takes us to engineering discipline. So there is a whole lot of challenge, and I think most part of the challenge is there within the society itself rather than within the scientific world. I will come to the issues in the scientific world. Now, there are a couple of issues which I will hint upon. Of course, we know that many of our institutes are not having that kind of resources, like resources in terms of equipment and all these which are there in the top institutes in the world. But we have one thing, that is human resource. See, I mean, for the last 15 years or so, I have been teaching in IIT, but I have also given lectures in many other institutes which are not so-called premier institutes of the country. I see there is no dearth of talent. Talent is distributed across all institutes, may not be evenly, maybe institutes like IIT have more talent, but it's not that other institutes have no talent. So there is no dearth of talent, and I think we must find out a mechanism of nurturing these human resources. We may have less equipment, but we can make up for that with the aid of human resources. And the human resources should be there in a chain system. Like many of us face this problem typically in engineering. Once our PhD students graduate, we don't have a continuation till a new PhD student joins. In best of the labs outside, there are continuous supplies of very high level postdoctoral fellows. Now in India, not best of the students will want to do postdoc because they feel it is de-glamorized, and it is because of us. We have de-glamorized postdoctoral system in India. We believe that if somebody has not done postdoctoral in one of the top institutes internationally, that person is not of high glamour in the academic world. So that is one thing. The other thing is regarding leadership in science. I believe that leadership in science, I mean, there is an issue about it. I have observed that most people who are so-called achievers in science and technology, in India they are pulled into administration at an early age. And this is very common in our system. I mean, in some sense it is good, but you know, I think it is better to allow the scientists who want to do science to do some more lab science before bringing them into administration. If they are interested, that is fine, but I think they should be allowed to do science, they should be allowed to enjoy science, and they should be allowed to have fun in doing science. See, I don't think you can bring Nobel Prize by design, because research, I mean, you cannot make a plan, you cannot make a program and then suddenly find out a way of getting Nobel Prize. I think it should come out because of a sequence, years of spontaneous effort, years of effort will go by, and I mean, Nobel Prize is a very important thing, but that should not just be the unique measure. Otherwise, most people will be frustrated because I have not got Nobel Prize, I have done nothing. So, there should be, I think, a structured way of looking into this, but society first should appreciate people doing science. And by science, I mean not just basic science, but also engineering science. Thank you very much.